is A Tribe Called Jess.
All right, well, welcome into A Tribe Called Jess.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Number 3, I'm doing fantastic. Hey, listen, if you're sitting at home and you don't know, you should be here right now. And I know that there was a ton of people who listened to the radio program last week, and your phone was ringing off the hook, and the text messages and everything that was going on. But I didn't have shit to do with this. Jess is the show, right?
That is not true.
This is why this is called Tribe, or Jess is a Tribe Called Jess. I can talk tonight, blah, right? But listen. This was fun last week, so we're going to do it again. We're going to keep doing it until you guys kick us off the air, right? And until we figure out whatever's going on. But I can tell you that if you're at home and you're not listening to this program, I had a lot of people come and talk to me.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
I had people talk to me about you.
Did they?
They did. Ooh. We'll get into it in a second.
That's what I'm talking about.
Are you afraid?
No, I'm not afraid at all. Not afraid. It's no big deal. But I know we have a lot of topics tonight, and this is the reason it is called The Tribe Called Jess is because a lot of people at home don't know that Jess wears about 5,000 hats, okay?
Very true.
She's a business lady. She goes out clubbing. She has a son in college. She's a dog crazy lady. She's with a cart.
That is facts.
Right?
That is facts.
Jess covers a lot of things. She's a therapist. She's better than Dr. Drew and Dr. Ruth, right? She can help you with your regular problems and your sex problems, right? So Jess is going to take care of all of them. So
wow.
Welcome to the program.
You added to my resume for sure.
Good to see you tonight.
Wow, it's good to see you. Welcome to A Tribe Called Jess. I am so happy to be here. And what a week, Kevin. Yeah. You're right. I had a lot of people, and I'm so humbled and so grateful because to know you have good friends and good people or just people of kindness that I didn't even know that reached out to me. Wow. Mm-hmm. And we have Dee sitting here in the studio that won't get on camera, okay. Which she should.
We have a live audience all the time. People come in here and just want to see us.
Yeah. Well, I want people to come in here and talk to me.
Dee is it's going to cost you next time, though.
It's going to cost
People are going to if they're going to watch this show live, we're going to start selling that.
Let me tell you, this lady right here who nobody can see, who's amazing, called me on Saturday morning. She gets out one sentence and she bursts into tears and is like, I'm so proud of you. It was so good. And I'm just like, to have friends that are puking happiness basically for you and that support system of both girl and guy friends, amazing. And thank you to everyone. And thank you to everyone that contributed this week to my research. We're getting a little dirty this week.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
I saw some of the topics come up because, I saw you send some of the things to me, but I know what the topics are going to be on the show when I start seeing you post on TikTok and I start seeing you post on Facebook. I'm like, all right, I better check into that because that's going to be a part of the show.
So anyway, but yeah, so starting off, crazy week. It was good work, planning, and went to D.C. last night, got into that. Yeah, I had a good time.
What was that?
Went down to Adams Morgan.
Really?
It's been since like my 20s.
Yeah.
But some friends of mine opened a new restaurant called Baja Tap.
Oh.
Excellent.
They got some amazing restaurants down there.
They really do. And I'll tell you, the vibe on this one was excellent.
Yeah.
All 3 levels were packed. The vibe was great. The service was great. And then my girlfriend and I walked around Adams Morgan and some other parts of DC just checking out new places.
Love Adams Morgan.
Guess what?
But hang on. When you go into DC, do you drive?
No, I usually park in Arlington.
Okay. And then Metro in or Uber?
No, I'm not Metroing. Okay. Nothing against Metro.
No.
I probably get lost.
Just ride around on the Metro for hours.
Yeah, hours. I retired those days.
Yeah. But so you park in Arlington and you Uber in. Why not just, is it cheaper to do that? Why not just Uber from your house?
Yeah, I park right in a free parking lot and it's safe. It's monitored by security and Uber in. It's just easier.
Is it somebody you know in Arlington?
No, my girlfriend and I both meet there and go. I know a lot of people in Arlington.
No, I know that. I just didn't know maybe if you had to hook up for a parking lot there and you just park there. No.
But I just think it's the easier way, especially sometimes if you're going in at night. It's just a lot more convenient when they drop you right at the door. So, but yeah, it was cool. You know what's still there? Madam's Organ. Do you remember that place?
Is it really? There's a ton of places that I haven't been into DC in forever. Probably since we were doing a show at the NFLPA, which is down on 22nd Street, which isn't too far away.
Right.
To try to get down.
Yeah, because that was like 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. And my girlfriend turned to me, and she's about 13 years younger, and she says, do you remember they gave you those bands? Remember at the beginning of Bar Crawl, they gave you the bands? Oh, yeah. And I said, no, I was like 22 and blackout drunk, and you were still like in grade school.
I'm hanging out with the middle schoolers. Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool to go down there. We checked out all the new summer spots. Got Glow Fest coming up, so I'm looking forward to that.
What is that?
It's Project Glow, put on by Insomniac and Glow at a DC Echo Stage.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And excited to go see DJs from around the world, and excited to see the local DJs. They put in so much hard work. My friend, Late London Rez, is performing. Really excited to see him perform. So
at some point in time, that Glow party needs to be here at the Salisbury Center.
Oh no, Jeff and I have talked about it. Definitely want to bring that vibe here.
Oh, yeah.
Have talked to those DJs because a lot of people here I don't think go into DC. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Salisbury Center right now is the place to be. If you haven't come down to Manassas, I mean, all the things that we have going on, the concerts, things that are coming up here, plus the studio, the control room, all the different rooms that you can be in. This place is crazy.
Oh,
it's
that's
crazy awesome.
The Salisbury Center, and the fact that it's fueled by Monster. Forgot to mention that at the beginning, on the Wylde Style Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot going on here, and I think, check it out online, check out the different events, and yeah, we're going to try and throw a party here, so
good.
It should be really cool.
Not just a party. Let's throw a lot of parties.
We're going to throw like a little Jessica party.
Ooh.
Jessica style.
That's a good party.
So what'd you do this week, Kev?
What did I do this week? I was off. I worked one day. Did a bunch of dumb softball stuff.
Your softball stuff is not dumb.
I know it's not. I just kind of play it down. They're actually great. They're great kids. That's about it. I didn't have anything too crazy.
Nothing. Well, I got a lot of feedback about you.
Okay, tell me.
So a lot of women out there really liked your statement about when we were talking about guys paying, but how you put that, like a woman wouldn't even have to ask.
Nope.
And they just love that about you. So got a lot of great feedback about you. So I thought I would tell you.
Were you passing out the number?
I did. So if you start getting crazy
Just
calls,
random calls.
I shot your shot for you.
Thanks. I even got to slide into DMs.
And I had a lot of people go, I did not know you were so shy, Jessica. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, well, okay.
That's probably the one that I got the most, is that because every time we go out, Jess, you're 1,000 miles an hour and you're so always all over the place and friendly. And the one that I got was like, she doesn't take her shot and she's shy and even if she has a crush, and I'm like, I guess not. I didn't know. Like, how did I know?
Nope.
I'm glad we did a radio show. I found out more about you.
You know what else people liked was that even though it's a podcast, it's kind of that radio feel, and they really like that.
Oh, good.
So
Anyway. I'm glad. I listen, I think that you got something going on here and it was fun, and I think last show was fun, and it was fun to be in here with you.
It was fun, and thanks to everybody for the feedback on the subjects we're going to talk about this week. And please follow me on TikTok, Tribe Called Jess, and Instagram, Tribe Called Jess 1, the number 1. That way you can see the things I post and give me that feedback. So I would love that. So let's get right after it. I have a verbal clip.
Verbal.
And this is from, one sec, this is Don't Trip. They're an account on TikTok and Instagram. These guys have a podcast, and they kind of say, don't trip, we got you, when their viewers call in and ask questions.
Okay.
And they answer them. And this was one of the first TikToks I ever saw from them. And I had to laugh because I kind of was taken back. So go ahead and play.
Do guys know when they've been added to a roster?
Do guys know when guys have
been added to a girl's roster?
Ooh.
Don't trip.
We got you. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because girls are sneaky.
Sneaky. I feel like guys always assume they're the player, not the one getting played.
Right.
But girls be just as good at players as guys be. So.
And then dudes be hella offended when they find out it wasn't the only one. They be like, what?
That was crazy. I thought it was the only one, but
It's luck of the draw.
luck of the draw.
Hopefully you the best one.
That's my favorite ending. Hopefully you're the best one. When I first heard the word roster, first of all, it took me a minute. I'm like, what? What's a roster? Like, I know what a roster is, obviously.
That's what happens when you're 48. You don't know what the roster is.
Yeah, I had to check in with my millennials and Gen Z.
Yeah, you better call your kid.
So I was like, oh, you mean Little Black Book or something like that. Did you know? And I was like, this is like a thing. This is like a thing. And I think when I kind of researched it, I'm like, this must be a thing, I think, more because of online dating.
Probably.
Yeah.
Listen, I do not think that there is one or the other. I don't think that the guys try to play or the girls try to play harder with this roster thing. If you're just not in the know or the common sense to think that people aren't people, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, and you finding the right girl or the right guy, you're going to end up in a bad spot, right? Whether or not you end up in the friend zone or you end up on the roster, right? And then you're going to get messed with if you're on the roster. So you know what you need to do is be a good human.
No, I agree with you, but I had to kind of go out there and kind of talk to some chicks I know and say, "Do you have a roster?" And a lot of them do, and
Yeah.
it's like, well, guys kind of ghost and this and that, and so you have, I don't want to say plan B, but other backfills, I guess.
I cannot begin to tell you how many girls, when I was DJing at the clubs, would always come up to me and, we're talking and I would, the conversation would steer right or left, but it was always like, I got a go-to. You know what I mean? The girl would tell me she has a go-to. She just says, if
For
I don't-
real?
Oh, yeah. And I was shocked. Just like you. Like, you have a guy you just call and go rail? And she's like, yeah, if I get to the point.
Go rail.
I'm like, yeah. And I'm like,
wow.
Are you serious? And she goes, yeah, don't. Because at the time, it's not that easy for a guy sometimes. You're like, hey, can you come over right now? No, I'm tired or whatever, right? But when's the last time some girl called a guy and she went, hey, you ready? And he went, nah. that doesn't happen. So the girls have go-tos.
And I do think girls are
You don't have a go-to?
I don't even have a go. You want me to have a go-to?
Jess, don't lie. She has a go-to.
I do not have a go-to.
So listen, you know what? This is like the FBI. This is like, because when you go eyes down and to the right, because every time I ask Jess if she has a go-to, the eyes down. No, I don't. That's okay.
What is that noise?
That's all right. Go ahead.
Sex noises.
You can say that. Go ahead.
No, but when I heard this, I'm like, here's my thought on this roster thing. I'm like, I can't even handle one, like on the regular.
Right.
Like, you got
can't
it.
juggle a few?
No, I wouldn't want to. First of all, that's a lot of time out of your day. Then what if you mix up the texts and the people? Like, I'm like,
I would think you're an oddity. I would think that more girls are playing guys than you think.
I think the girls that are playing guys are super good at it, like they said.
Yeah.
I mean, women just, I watch guys trip themselves up, and I'm kind of like, how did you manage to make that big of a mistake, dude? Captain Obvious.
Yeah, right.
I think girls just that we think 5 steps ahead. So if we're being tricky, we are better at it.
No, 1,000%.
I
mean, guys are stupid in general.
But
like guys are just dum-dums, right? Especially.
I don't think guys are stupid in general.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, but I do think that, girls are trickier. I think that they're only having, I think girls are definitely more emotional, but I think they're having rosters because they're getting ghosted so much. And that's not putting it all on men.
No, I got you.
I just think over the years, I would say in the last 10, to really be honest, I've watched it develop where girls have just become, I guess you would say, a little bit more players. And they've gotten really good at playing what we would consider standard guy games. And now some of the guys don't like it too much.
No, they don't like it.
They don't like it at all.
No. Because what's funny is as we get older, I start to watch some of these younger guys. They're like super emotional.
Yeah,
Like
they're emo about it.
like I start to see him well up. Like, my girl left. And I'm like, what? Dude, that would have never happened back in the 80s and 90s. It would have been like, all right, whatever. I'm going to the next girl. Now, all of a sudden, you're starting to see like guys like well up and cry and be emotional, especially now that all the social media is on. You know, social media people, guys are like begging for their girls back on TikTok. And they're like, oh, please come back. I'm like,
send me those videos. I don't see that.
Really?
Really?
I'll start sending them to you.
Yeah, send them to me.
I'll start sending them to you. These dudes are super, and not that being emotional is bad. It's just because we get to see it now.
Well, you're seeing everything.
Yeah, because they're putting it out there.
Yeah.
Like I might be emotional, but I ain't going to post it.
Well, I think people are super.
They're looking for this, oh, you'll be okay, pat on the back kind of thing. She's a slut. Don't worry about it. She's a terrible person.
Wow.
You don't want to be with her anyways, kind of
Wow.
BS. And then
I think
making the dude feel better. That's why he's crying on social media.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, she's here. She's here.
Oh, she's always here. Crazy dog lady.
Yeah. No, but I think, people seek comfort in different ways. And I think you're seeing everything out there. I think people put a lot out there really quick. Like, I mean, people still, I had one person go, oh, you and your ex broke up. I'm like, yeah, it's been a year. And that was last week. And I was super private about it because I just feel like some things don't need to be put out there. It's a private event. And we don't
tell you, I know exactly when that happened.
How?
Because you personally were super out there about posting things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you would post every boat trip, every trip that you guys went on,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it went stop.
Yeah.
Right? So it went stop. You didn't need to post and say it was broke up. You didn't need to post and
Yeah.
tell me. You didn't need to call and tell me, because when you are into somebody, you are into them.
Yeah, and we talked about on that the last show, but I mean, I just felt like, okay, him and we are both very social people, but at the same time, there are things to be private. Whereas to where I see, with the boyfriend, broken up with boyfriend, back with boyfriend, new
Right.
boyfriend, and I'm just like,
Status single.
it's not. And look, you put out there what you want. I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I'm like, maybe reel that back in a little bit.
Yeah, be
But
private.
I do think guys are getting upset. Girls are getting very good at playing guy games, and
Yeah.
I feel like guys kind of taught them how to do that.
Maybe. I mean, at this day and age, I don't know if the guys know how. Like
How what?
How to be super shady anymore, because of all the phones can be tracked, cars can be tracked.
Well, those are what girls are really good at.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. So I don't think dudes are smart enough. Like a dude like Scott, right?
Poor Scott. Scott, chime in here and defend
but Scott
yourself.
is super smart. He would probably be able to, if a girl was trying to track him, or he would be able to track somebody else. Me,
All right, Scott.
You could be parked in the parking space next to me with your boyfriend, and I wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
Right? I think Scott's probably super smart, but he's driving around in a Tesla. So if somebody wanted to take and check on him, you could check on him if you tapped into his Tesla.
Scott, are you driving a Tesla?
I am.
That's hot.
They're cool.
Is it
Look
hot?
at you.
I'll get a
I
Tesla
don't
if it's
know.
hot. I don't know if a Tesla's hot.
Is a Tesla hot?
I don't know.
Give Scott some props.
How much ass did you get because you got a Tesla?
Yeah.
It helps a little bit.
Yeah, you
It does?
lying. No.
All right, wait. No.
scared of
Come here. How does it help, Scott?
People are scared of electric.
Seen the duty is with last night.
Yeah.
What?
I've seen the duty is with last night.
Stop it. Leave him alone. Does it help you fool girls, though?
Obviously.
It does.
It
not.
does?
You're so full of crap.
Oh my god, dude, the big iPad and shit, they touch it and it's so cool. I see the teeth, I can do
That's
fart
what you want him to
noises
touch,
anywhere.
Scott, your iPad.
No kidding. That's what I was like.
Big iPad.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
That
done.
big iPad,
Yeah.
Scott.
I just got off. She just touched my iPad.
I'm gonna
Sweet.
die. Poor Scott. I love him.
And the best part is,
What?
there's a dash cam.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
There, that's
Smart
good.
boy.
that's good.
Okay, yeah,
Kevin,
maybe
we're too
Scott.
old to
Maybe
understand.
Scott.
We're way too old to understand.
We're too old to understand. No, we just don't need those tricks to get
No,
girls.
I don't. Yeah. I don't. Hey, come look at my Tesla.
And my big iPad.
Yeah. Scott's gonna put you in a Tesla and drive you home so you guys can look at XLR
It drives
cables
for me.
and televisions.
I don't have to drive. I just lean back.
Yeah.
I just lean back. I'm dying.
That thing's right. He called me the other day and he goes, "Oh, self-driving," and he's texting and looking shit up.
Oh, I would be terrified. Okay, that's a different show. Anyway, Scott, I'm glad your Tesla is helping you pull some
He's
girls.
lying. He ain't getting no ass.
Come on, give him some credit. He's a young buck. He's got plenty of
I know.
time.
I know, but
So
I
you're
think-
going to learn
but
from
this-
this show, Scott, on what girls can do.
Yeah, but this comes all back to it, right? Because Scott's a younger dude, right? And he's into the electronics and into that. So that talks about like what we talked about last week with the millennials and the Gen X's and all the, the Gen Zers and all the things that we got going on. Some of these people just are better at it than others. People grew up with phones in their hands.
Yeah.
People grew up that way. When you and I were growing up, I had to call you from a phone on the wall with a cord.
with a quarter.
And to get, and to be
Or 10
private,
cents.
with a private, for me to be private on that phone, I had to add the 20-foot cord and go into the garage and close the door so my parents couldn't hear you.
Well,
Right?
there you
That
go.
ain't- That's not like that anymore.
Oh, yeah. My dad always heard everything. Everything.
Yeah.
He would sneak at me, and then I would talk in my sleep, and he would get stuff out of me. He would hear me talk in my sleep and ask me questions, and I would answer, and then I'd be in trouble the next day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's different for us.
poor dad.
I know.
Poor me. No, but I think you go back to it. I think last week you mentioned, and I like this. I listened back a few times, and you talked about communication, and I think that's where the breakdown of it is all. People, too involved in FOMO. Where's the next best thing instead of focusing
Sure.
on what they have in front of their face. And that's not to say ditch if someone's treating you terrible. You got to know when to ditch.
Yeah.
And also, I think, girls absolutely have the roster. Guys absolutely have a roster.
Sure.
I love hearing about my guy friends' rosters. When you're the outsider looking in, it's very interesting.
No, but you're curious. You're curious to see if you're on the roster.
I'm not on my guy friends' rosters.
But you're curious.
No.
You
I just
you
like to
think you're
hear
not-
about how they X the
Jeff,
girls off the roster.
Jeff,
Yes.
how many rosters do you think Jess is on?
Oh, I'm not on any because
Jeff.
Dozens.
At least.
in their
dozens.
dreams roster.
Okay, but I'm telling you, correct. You're on the roster, but they don't know how to come at you with it.
I don't mean in your dreams, guys. That sounds very egotistical.
It's
I
not.
meant
Roster you
a
don't
fan.
wanna be on?
It's like fantasy football.
Which roster do you not want to be on?
I don't want to be on any roster.
But see, you are. You are on people's rosters. Now,
What does that mean if you're? So I take a
that means-
roster.
no, that
as-
somebody that they've already been with, and that they've already had, and so they put them on that roster. Is that what you're saying, or somebody that they would like to be with?
No, to me, a roster is people you're juggling. Like I'm
okay.
dating you on, like especially
Okay.
with dating apps. I think people
got
have
you.
like I'm seeing her on Friday and her on Saturday, and
I would think you're on some dude's roster that he is going to try to slide into your DMs.
let's hope there might be hope for me.
But I'm too shy, and I won't talk to him.
Oh, if they slide into mine, if I liked them, I would talk to them.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you won't know because you're too shy, and you don't
Well, I
go
wouldn't.
approach anybody.
I'm saying if I think this got very misconstrued.
I
in a
don't
lot
think
of
so.
ways.
I don't think so at all.
That I just if I have a crush, it's very hard for me to express that. Now, if that crush approached me, then I'm more expressive and able to talk
I
about
got you.
that.
I got you. I understand that.
Yeah.
So I would think you're right. So I would think there's two different rosters. If a guy's got a roster and he's playing like 5 girls on his roster, right? And he's been with all 5 of these girls and they don't know, then I would think that that's a different kind of roster. As this guy over here has a roster that says, "Hey, I like this girl. I'm trying to talk to her. So I'm going to put these 5 girls' names down and I want to try to get with them. And whichever one hits first, it's like the lottery, and then that's the one I'm going to date."
Yeah. I think, I definitely think guys have a roster more than women, but I definitely think it's a thing with women. But what I tell women when they're like, "Oh, he won't call me back. He said he da da da," I'm like, "Okay, you're on a list of many, and you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself if you think that that's not what's going on."
Sure.
And I think the older you get, the more realistic you get with that stuff, and
Sure.
you're able to say,
Sure.
"Hey."
Right.
You can kind of bail out for yourself.
Listen, I'm with you. I don't even know how to spell roster, so I don't even know if I could have a roster. I'm just like, what's a roster? All right.
It's a lot of effort.
Just be a good human. If you're talking to one person, just talk to that person.
But I think that's very much more our generation. I'm not saying everybody's like that in our generation.
Sure.
But I do think that's very much our generation, and from there it's changed. And I understand why. I don't go. I mean, they have Facebook and
Sure.
the Twitters and Instagrams
Yeah.
and TikToks, and my son just mentioned a new one. I'm like, how many socials can we have?
Yeah.
And the problem is,
Jeff has a notebook, much less a roster, right? So Jeff is different.
Jeff, tell us
I have
about
a
your
chisel and a
notebook.
rock.
Huh?
I have a chisel and a rock.
Yeah, right.
A chisel and a rock.
Yeah, he's keeping track here in the old days.
Well, I would love to hear people's feedback on this. I mean, it's just something I want to touch on. I thought it was
think
funny.
somebody's going to text you and tell you if they have a roster?
No.
No. Well,
no.
privately, they might tell her.
No, people I know, look, it sounds like a derogatory thing. They're dating, they're playing the field, dating people.
If you're not serious, who cares?
And I agree. And I think I see a lot of girls getting upset out there. They're like, "Oh, well, he didn't call me back and we went on a great date.
Oh, that was it.
And we went on 3 dates. We went on 4 dates. Hold on." And I answer to them. Some of this is on some public stuff you can answer. And I answer them like, "Look, if you didn't have a clear, concise conversation with this man and bring it up because that's what you wanted, then you can't really hold it against him. I get where you're coming from. It could have been a little more courteous on his behalf and then more
Right.
gentlemanly. But at the end of the day, you didn't have that conversation.
Sure.
So I'm kind of like,
I got you. I feel you.
So anyway.
I don't have a roster, and I'm not on anybody's roster, so
Scott, do you have a roster?
zero chance that Scott has a
I'm a
roster.
good, wholesome boy.
Yeah,
Few
I'm
interests.
telling you.
Would you have a
Scott
roster?
would rather
I
take
don't
you
mess around.
downstairs
I
and
don't
show
mess
you the
around.
mixer.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
But would you, Scott, if you were like on a dating app, would you have one?
I don't like dating apps.
Okay, I don't either. I've never
Yeah,
been on one.
me
Nobody
neither.
ever believes me, and I'm like,
I've never, ever
listen.
even logged on to a dating
Not
app.
even ego boost. I'll swipe, but otherwise.
Oh, you're on. I saw the Craigslist killer back when Craigslist was a thing, and that was enough for me. And ID channel plays at my house 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to die.
I'm telling you, I've never done the dating app thing ever. I think that's kind of weak sauce.
One of my friends told me to set up an account. This is actually a hysterical story. And I'm like, okay, but I don't want that account to go live on, I think it's the Hinge.
Okay.
So
Never
I'm
heard of
like,
that.
okay, I'll set up this account. I'm looking at these ridiculous questions that they ask you. I'm like, should I put in what's my favorite color? And like,
Oh my gosh.
what the hell? Like,
Long walks on the beach.
what
Yeah,
what
whatever.
are my, it was like the weirdest questions. I'm like, I'm out, right? But I was like, all right, I'll just set it. It doesn't go live. So I'm sitting outside with Oshi. It's like 5:30 in the morning and my neighbor is out watering her plants. I get up at 4.
Okay. I was like, who's up at 5:30?
Hold on. My neighbor, and I said, oh, I didn't finish, and I'll go ahead and finish the account while he's out there, doing his thing. And next thing I know, guys, I thought it wasn't going to go live. It goes live. Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of guys up at 5:30 a.m. I start
bet.
screaming. My neighbor goes, oh my God, what's wrong? And I'm like, how do I make it stop?
So you were on a dating app.
For less than 3 minutes, and I made it stop. And then it's like, it could be a 20-minute delay.
Right.
But in those 3 minutes, I had so much.
Right. I've never heard of that dating app, by the way.
Hinge.
Plenty of fish, Tinder, Christian Mingle.
Tinder's like DTF, I feel like.
I thought that was Plenty of Fish. I thought Plenty of Fish was the DTF one.
I feel like I literally, that was my whole story of dating apps. 3 minutes.
How many dating apps out there in the world?
A lot.
Yeah, like
Christian Mingle.
Yeah,
we're on the
Christian
same
Mingle.
page here.
I feel like they want
that
me.
That definitely screams this show. Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle.
Yeah, we're definitely.
They
we're
would
tops
kick
on the
me off.
list. Yeah.
There's the Raya. The Raya is you
Is
have
what?
to be approved.
Really?
Yeah, the Raya is the one the celebs do.
Yeah.
That I might do the Raya, but you have to be approved, and it can take a year or two to be approved. But then I'll be like, done. I'm like, no. No, but yeah, you have to be approved on that one. A lot of celebrities do the Raya.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, they have to go through and see if you're good looking enough and you meet the standard.
I hear you.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. So let's talk about some sex.
All right, hang. Before we do that, you guys make sure you can give us a shout here at our brand new our brand new telephone line is 855-77-WYLD. That's how you get a hold of the show. If you want to talk to Jess live, 855-77-WYLD. That's how you can get in touch with the show here at A Tribe Called Jess.
Ooh, so we are gonna start taking live calls.
Sure, why not?
Let's do it. I
Sure,
like
why
it.
not?
Should we have T call in now?
Yeah, if people are on the line and want to call in, they can give us a shout. 855-77-WYLD. That's WYLDE. WYLDE. You guys want to give us a shout? That's 855-77. That's too many numbers, Scott. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Talk about some sex.
Let's talk about some sex. Did that get everybody's attention?
Go ahead.
So when I left here, and then I take a day to decompress for myself, and then I start thinking, my creative energy starts going, and I started thinking, what are we going to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this came up in one of my conversations with my friends about
Sex.
how, well, yeah,
Okay.
girls, and we talk about sex.
Do you
Believe
really?
it or not, it gets dirty with girls.
Really?
I think it's worse than guys.
Are you kidding?
Are you really surprised?
A little bit.
What?
Yeah, I wouldn't think that sex would be like the hot topic for you girls. No?
I see Dee over here laughing,
All right.
going,
All right.
she,
So
I've
hang
no,
tight, though,
wait,
but hang
hold
tight,
on.
because you haven't had a boyfriend in a year. What could you be talking about?
We talk about it all. Girl, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you think what you're saying is bad, what we say to each other,
Yeah.
sorry, girls, but this has been talked about many times, is so much dirtier. We are so much dirtier.
I had no
Dee's
idea.
laughing because she's known me since 1997, longer than both of you, and knows the conversations we've had over the
Okay.
years.
Yeah, but probably because you with somebody.
No, we
like
talk about
sex,
each other's sex. We
Oh.
talk about,
masturbation.
sure. We
Okay.
talk about, you name it.
Okay.
Do you see that guy? He's so I mean, it down, dirty, it doesn't matter. Girls that are girlfriends and in their trust tree,
Right.
yeah.
Talk about your toys.
I don't know if we talk about our toys.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I don't go, oh, guys, listen. I
Hey,
mean, I guess
had my
if
toy
you,
last night, and this is what I did. Like, because if you don't have a boyfriend, I don't know what you're talking about. What else you got going on, right?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, right now you've been dating you for a year, so it's been exciting. Every morning, every night, it's been exciting.
I mean, think what you want.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, go ahead. So anyway, so we were.
Mine sounds much better.
Yeah, you're 3 or 4 speeds. Go ahead.
I'm dying.
We need a jackhammer for
Yeah.
you.
I hate you guys.
All right, so go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt that. I just didn't know, like, if you don't
Kevin,
have,
you do mean I love that you disrupt it because you bring it out of me.
yeah, but I didn't, like, if you don't have a boyfriend and, like, so what, like, it's nothing you could sit over here and talk to D about and be like, last night, this is what I did with my boyfriend, or, hey, this is what I did with my hookup, or this is what I did with my dude on the roster, right? So you don't have a roster, you don't have a crush, you can't slide into DMs, so you must be masturbating.
What the fuck?
That's the only thing I can think of, right? I mean,
what I said is think which one.
okay. I'm not trying to pull anything out of you. I'm just trying to figure out what conversation could be had.
I think the best thing is mystery, and we have a lot of shows in front of us. I hope so.
Oh, okay.
We can't
All right.
spill it all at once.
Why?
Why?
There's going to be other stuff to talk about, I promise. I'm just saying, like, if you guys are talking about sex and you say that the girls
I'm saying, girl, like you're in a group of girls. You have a girl.
So not necessarily you, but girls in general talk more about
I think
sex.
you're taking it literal. Like, oh, I'm hooking. We just talk about the dirtiest things. You know how they say guys are such pervs and this and
Sure.
that. Well, that may be true on some guys. Inappropriate, whatever.
Hang around the firehouse for a day, but all right.
Yeah, like whatever. But you get a group of girls together and you name the subject, and we can turn any subject dirty.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Oh God. So this kind of came up in my head in a conversation about sex where, we were talking about how of the westernized countries like Europe,
Okay.
us, we're definitely the more conservative of, between the two. I definitely think so.
You just came back from overseas.
I mean, you're talking about London. I kind of feel like they still fall on the conservative.
Okay.
I think they
You're talking about like Amsterdam or other places?
Yeah, I mean, you start, I think, first of all,
France.
and I don't want to get into statistics and all that. I think over there you separate nudity. Here, nudity is sexualized. Over there, nudity and sexual behavior is not the same. Like, that's why they have so many nude beaches and they don't care.
Right.
They're not like, oh my God, there's boobs.
Yeah, right.
We're like, oh my gosh, my boob fell out in the ocean. Like, we're having a heart attack. So I think, that, and so then I started reading about all this. It ended up leading me down to a rabbit hole that ended up getting me triggered, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
But when I'm reading this, which I do think it's true. I think, and I respect everybody's how they teach morality, whether that's through faith. And I think we're very faith driven in this country on how we
like
teach things.
religion?
And I don't want to,
Okay.
I don't touch those subjects, but
Good.
I respect people that do base their decisions. So in no way, no disrespect to that. But I do think we are morally driven by that. And over there, it's just a little more free. There's not as much judgment.
Okay.
When it comes to, who you're having sex with.
It's just more out there. I think all these religious people who are religious and say they're going to church to bang the Bible are all freaks.
I mean, I don't think.
I bet they're all freaky behind the doors and they just don't want to tell you. And then they got to go on Sunday to get cleansed.
Oh,
right? So
I don't think that.
Okay.
I mean, I know plenty of, people that are very involved in their religion. Their sexual.
There's certain religions that people aren't into that kind of stuff. But I just a regular ass person that goes to church on Sunday to the Baptist church or whatever during the rest of the week, they're getting it in.
I don't know, because
I
I kind of feel like people look at me and say, like, today I'm wearing Zazwahu. I'm going to give them a little shout out. Leather pants and a half top, and my
You do not scream church.
my rock. But immediately, I think what comes to people's mind is, oh, she's probably slutty. Oh, she's probably this. I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't, because I like me. And I dress appropriate for either how I feel or where I'm going, and I act appropriately the same.
Okay.
But I think judging all church people like that would be
No,
like
I'm
same
not
as
judging
me.
all. I'm not judging all church people. I just think that they're not out there like we were talking about overseas people, right? Overseas, they're more out there. They're more.
Oh, yeah, I
they're
feel-
way like you're talking about like the nude beaches and things. And I'm just telling you that these people who go to church are just as freaky.
I believe that too.
I'm not bragging. I'm definitely not bagging on religion.
Oh, I know you're
right?
not.
No.
No. I know you're not, but I just want to make sure that I'm respectful to them.
Oh yeah.
But then
that's their thing.
I start going down this rabbit hole of countries, right? And this is the first rabbit hole. If you want to have sex first and date second, guess where you go? This was fascinating.
Germany.
Iceland.
Oh, you know what? I heard that too. Now that you say that, I heard Iceland is freaky. I heard they do some fun shit in Iceland.
So
like,
I
you need to go visit Iceland.
They have a penis museum. I mean, this took me down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
Like they have an actual penis museum with all kinds of different formed penises out of different things. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Icelanders
So you booked a ticket. Oh, cool. That's good.
although I think it'd be cool to go there. But it was.
I'm sure you do.
No. God, I dig my own holes with Kevin. I just dig
I'm
and
sure.
dig and dig.
But who cares? You're single and you're old enough to buy a plane ticket. So go. Like that's what I'm saying.
It's cold there.
Oh, you know what? It's funny you say that too. Because I would not want to go anywhere where I got to wear a bunch of clothes.
I do not like to be cold on purpose.
None. Zero.
Yes.
I'm from Florida. I don't care. I don't like Virginia.
I'm watching
Virginia's too cold.
I love watching my friends that ski and snowboard and do all those things because
It's
I'm
a
like,
fun
that's
place
awesome.
to visit.
I'll be the girl at the ski lodge and the hot tub and waiting for you, and I'm so happy for you, but I do not want to be cold on purpose.
I'm with you. I will go snow skiing and I will go snowboarding, but that is a fun place to visit. That is not where I want to live my life.
Last time I went snowboarding, I borrowed a teenager's snowboard, took a picture, and posted it like I did it, and I was like, no, I have done it.
So you tricked
but no.
them.
Yeah, because I was like, this
Not
just looks
snowboard. Sure.
very cold.
And don't get me wrong, I like just doing sports and doing.
love sports.
Like just doing like things and being active. But I would rather be down in Florida,
Yeah.
boating. Like
Yeah.
that sport. That sport.
I mean, I'll be honest, at a young age, I got to do this really cool adventure where I propelled, learned how to sail, not well.
Right. That's okay. You didn't drown. You're still
Splunking.
here. All right.
Doing all that, and I love active. I mean, it's
Sure.
who I am. I
Sure.
love energy, but not being cold on purpose.
But most
I have
people,
been snowmobiling with D many times.
Yeah, but most people would rather be warm.
Yeah,
Most people.
yeah.
Right? Like if you go up to Boston and you're like, oh, I hate the winter. Well, don't live in Boston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, the winter sucks. I live in Maine. Well, don't live in Maine. You know,
People
like,
that are like, oh, move to New York. I was like, no,
No.
too cold.
Yeah.
Way too cold.
Yeah.
It's too cold here for me.
1,000%.
I would love to move to Miami.
Okay.
I do.
Yep.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah. If you're looking for me in a couple years,
Is that where I'll find you?
I'll call you.
Well, there's some beautiful women down there.
I'll call you.
They're hot.
I'll call you.
I don't know if I can fit into that standard of Miami. But anyway, so I go down they on average will have sex first.
Okay.
And then decide if they're going to date based on the sex.
Oh.
And now it was a little confusing because a couple girls were like, well, if I really like them, I'll wait, but they don't like to wait because it's our custom. And I'm not trying to use the wrong verbiage with Iceland to have sex first and then date. Now, on one side of me, I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, people have to make their own decisions, but
Sure.
I'm kind of like, I feel like people give this narrative, a group of people give a narrative of, oh, sex isn't important. You are lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself if you
Sure.
think in a relationship that sex isn't important. It 100% is important.
No, it's important.
100%.
I would never ever say that. It's not. It is super important.
I agree, but don't you agree that
But that's what I've never understood the whole old timey 1950s I was probably stopped in the 50s because I think the 60s and the 70s people got crazy, right? That's when everything went nuts, 60s and 70s. But I think that all this, well, I'm going to wait till I'm married.
yeah.
Right? Wait till I'm married crap. Like,
Yeah.
But that's, that's the old, and everybody says this. This is why you go out and test drive cars. And, you don't like to me, it's still kind of crazy to buy a car on Carfax or whatever it is. And the car
that
gets,
new, yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it gets looks like a slot machine. It drops down. They put it on they put it on a tow truck and drive it to your house.
Yeah.
What happens if I don't like it? What happens if I don't like the way it drives or it smells bad or something's in the car? I don't like the way the dash looks. I mean, you can look at it on a picture. Right. But until you test drive it, I don't know if I like it.
We're going to come back to a point on that and remind me. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
Because I have a story on that. But I agree with you. I mean, again, I guess for some people it goes back to they do wait. I don't know many that wait till they get married, but
Sure.
they're out there. They're out there.
That's why I
and-
said it was more 50s, like this traditional 1950s kind of BS.
Yeah.
And then the 60s came around, everybody found heroin, or, everybody.
Wait, that was extreme.
No.
We went from
Everybody
saving ourselves from marriage to everybody's doing
everybody
heroin.
found mushrooms and pot in the 60s.
They were much happier.
Yeah, and then, the Woodstock came along, and then.
Well, then they were really, really happy.
1,000 babies came out of Woodstock.
1,000 babies.
And then the 70s hit, and then the disco era, and everybody started, hanging out then. So
Yeah.
I feel like the 50s was kind of like the last traditional time.
Sorry, Oshi needed assistance.
What does Oshi need?
I don't know.
Oh.
Poor Oshi.
Yeah.
Look at Oshi, everybody.
He's going to try to slide in here.
His leash is in there too.
Oh.
He has a sitter tonight.
No.
I left him last night to go to DC.
Yeah.
And so I almost thought about leaving. I can't leave him 2 nights in a row.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Doesn't work. Anyway, going back to what we said. Yeah, I can't agree more. I'm curious to what people think and let us know. I agree with you. I think sex is so important. It not only the intimate side, the physical need, it can fix a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people forget that. If you're having a fight, granted, you got to communicate and solve the problem. But good sex between two people that
You
are
mean the
together,
makeup sex?
I mean, even during the fight sex. What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
I mean,
Usually because when people fight, they don't want to be around each other.
it depends.
They don't want to. They
I
don't
think
want to hang
that
out
I
with
think
anybody.
it depends.
Oh, all right. I don't know why you were getting all quiet when you talk about that. Like,
Because I've done it.
well, yeah, but okay. Most people, when they have a fight with somebody,
Depends.
most people are like, "Get away from me! I can't be around you. I don't
Yeah.
even want to see your face." Right? Much less go get naked or jump on the counter in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? That's just not a thing when you're mad, legit mad at somebody. Doesn't mean you don't ever want to see them again. But after that, you guys calm down, you settle down, you talk to each other. You still might disagree, but then the clothes start coming off.
Definitely. I mean,
Okay.
look, I think, Kev, this comes from being through relationships and also getting older. What are you laughing?
Nothing.
Oh. I think it comes with being in relationships and getting older is that you just stop wanting to fight so much. Nothing is really that important.
Correct.
If I could talk to young people, and guys, when
That's a
I
good
tell
point.
you advice,
Yeah.
it is only because I have screwed it up myself.
Mm.
Like when I sit here and talk about things, and it's because I have done it the wrong way. So when I tell my younger friends and they get like, "Oh, you're preaching to me," I'm like, no, I'm telling you because I really screwed up.
Yeah, but when you were 20, did you listen to the 40-year-old?
I did because I'll tell you, I was way
I didn't listen to shit.
I was way more mature for my age at all times. So when I see like girls that are in their 20s acting a certain way, I have to remember that most people, I was kind of on my own a lot. So like most people didn't have that. So I learned that. So, but yeah, I think sex is important. I think many things, pick your battles, save the big battles. When it comes down to the big things, love each other. That's what makes relationships work.
I got you. I mean, listen, sex is super important. And when you say big battles, the big battles nowadays are what? Money? Time?
People get caught up. I think money is a big destroyer, and this could be a whole nother show that we might move to next week because I have a good one already planned. But I think money is such a money can come and go, right? You can be all the way up here and something can happen, and you got to base your relationship on something better than that, and know that might happen. Know those stresses might come.
Yeah.
I think people, I'll give this quick tidbit and we'll move away from this and into where the juicy stuff, because people are probably like, what is this? Dr. Jess?
Yeah, it is. That's why it's called A Tribe Called Jess.
But I think people find their validation in relationships and themselves when they have kids within their kids. And it's something that I was very good at not doing. Nico, I was always Jessica. I was always his mom, and that will always come first. If he called right now, I would jump ship on this podcast and be like, gotta go, guys. Sorry,
Sure.
bye. If I was a club in DC, same thing. But I don't live Nico's life. My job was to set him up for his own life experience, to love him when it sucks, but I've never identified myself as just Nico's mom. That's a part of who I am. And I think couples get lost and live through their kids and forget to I say date each other. And it's easy to do day to day.
Yeah.
To forget, but you got, just like you have to make time for fitness, you got to make time for each other. You have to pencil it in as part of your schedule.
Yeah.
And I only learned by being so caught up in my career and neglecting my relationship a long time ago
Yep.
in my 20s. And you learn by error. And I think I did better the next time.
I still suck at it.
I don't know. You do? I don't
my
think
God.
you suck.
Yes, I suck at
Nobody
time.
sucks. Why?
I suck
Tell
at
me.
time. Are you kidding?
Oh,
I got a
time.
job that takes me away for 24 hours away from my house.
Does everybody know what Kevin does?
Like I got a job that takes me away for 24 hours. Then on the next day, I get in a car and I drive to a university to coach softball, right? And then in the summertime, after my job that takes me away from my home for 24 hours, I go recruit for that university. Every weekend, I'm a different place. Every weekend. And then on top of that, I'm here, right? So between television, radio, softball, and the fire department, I'm screwed.
I don't think that. I think you have to find somebody that complements something like that. Maybe it's not the girl that has this, career at this point in her life. Maybe it is somebody that can kind of go with you.
I feel
and
you.
that's the girl.
But sometimes, and listen, this is why relationships don't work sometimes, because I know I'm bad at that. Like, I'm not trying to hide that, right? I wish I could fix it. I wish that I didn't have the drive that I have to go somewhere and do something. But Jeff will tell you that even when I had free time to sit at home or go do something else, I was fucking in here. I was in here.
Could she come with you here?
She could have. She has a job.
Oh, I'm not criticizing.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
I'm truly
but she could
asking.
have. But I mean, I would get caught up in here. This place is like Vegas. When you go to the casinos, there's no windows looking outside, so you just start building and working on things,
No,
right?
I
and
come-
you lose track of time. It's like there's no
That's
window.
very true.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, it's already 6:30. Oh
Yeah.
shit, it's already 10:30. Especially when I would say, oh, I'm going to be home in an hour. And then Jeff would show up. And then Jeff and I would be like, well, we can do this. Oh, and then Scott would show up. And then Scott and I, well, let's do it right now. And then you lose track of time.
Where's the
terrible.
sacrifice though, Kev? Like for me, so
There was none, and I'm terrible at it.
but I think there can be sacrifice, right? You have to move forward and you have to either decide what kind of woman you want that fits in with your life. And that's okay, because that's the kind of woman you go out and seek, and you make sure that you're having those conversations up front. So that's not saying to a woman, give up everything because I'm
Sure.
so important.
Sure.
But maybe there's a woman there's plenty of women out there that would love to do these things with you.
Oh, I know.
and
Listen,
and
I
be involved.
I travel all around, but when I get to wherever I'm traveling, I spend all day on a softball field. It's not like I get to Myrtle Beach and I go to the beach, right? And then so the person
Yeah,
who
but
wants
you
to
could
go
do
with-
that, and then you guys could bang at night.
Well, but that would be cool if the person who went with you wasn't mad that you had to sit on the softball field and they had to sit on the beach by themselves. To me, if it was the reversed, I would hang out on the beach by myself
Me too.
all day and wouldn't have a single thing to say to anybody.
Hold on. And I get that. And there are certain things I will not sacrifice. You have to go into looking at people, and I think that's where we side rail ourselves. And I think everyone does this in relationships. I'm not talking about full on marriage commitments.
Yep.
I don't even know if I believe in marriage. But I'm not against it. But it's definitely not.
I don't. All right.
Yeah, whatever. But I think that's where they get derailed, is that you forget when you're so blinded by all the good things, like the honeymoon stage, I guess, or whatever,
Yeah.
What's the chemical that releases in your body? I just can't think about it.
What chemical are we talking about? Like pheromones?
Yeah, or
or
whenever you meet someone and I can't think of the word.
Serotonin?
Thank you. Or maybe serotonin. There.
I don't know what it is.
Anyway.
Listen,
What do you want to know?
I squirt water for a living, and she's asking me chemistry questions.
No, when you meet endorphins, like when you
Pheromones.
first meet
That's what
someone.
I said.
Yeah, all right, pheromones. All right, we'll go with
Pheromones.
that. That's fine. Then we forget to ask ourselves, is this going to sacrifice a part of my happiness, or what do I need to be communicating to this person? Because we're just like, oh my God, I love blah, 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 blah. Well, of course you do, because you haven't hit anything hard.
Right.
And love is easy. Relationships are always work. And whether they're with family, friends, or a significant other, you have to work at them.
Sure.
And when you care about someone, it's a pleasure to do that work.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
anyway, So glad we went down that rabbit hole. That was kind of cool. Don't give up, Kev. You're a good dude.
I'm not giving up.
Plus, look at those baby blues.
I'm not giving up.
Kevin was looking at himself in the.
No, I wasn't
my
looking at my
eyes are
eyes. I
blue.
was looking
They
at
are
how,
really
I was
blue.
looking at how orange I am. I was trying
He's
not
very
to.
Floridian. We were saying before we came on
I don't
air.
think it looked Floridian. I think it looks more Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
No.
I think it looks.
Trump's cousin.
I think it looks Oompa Loompa, not tan. Even,
There we go. Look at him.
I was in the sun all day today. I can tell you that.
Were you?
Oh, all day, all day.
I was not. I had a little skin cancer scare over the summer, so now I'm very careful. I
Really?
spray tan.
Oh,
I do. I will get some sun.
you about to say you spent your whole life on the boat for a while.
Yeah, but I've always been. I won't say always, but I'm pretty good at wearing hats, and I always wear makeup with the sunscreens.
Okay.
And the sunscreen underneath.
But you didn't wear makeup on your whole body.
No. But I
because
just had
the bikini that you would wear.
I had my whole body checked after this. Of course, I picked the guy, the dermatologist. If you guys look him up, I'm not going to be able to be his patient, but I don't care. He's the hot guy that went viral on Twitters in 2019 from this area. He was on the news.
Really?
Yeah.
For what? Did he do
So
something
I called
dirty?
my brother. I'm like, oh my God, my dermatologist is hot, and I have to go back in for a body scan because they found this. They want to check my body.
Do you remember his name?
I don't off the top of my head. I don't.
I don't think you can type in hot dermatologist.
Yes, put hot dermatologist. Yes, you can. Hot dermatologist that went viral in Virginia. He's going to kill me. I'm probably going to be in so much trouble.
Who cares? What's he gonna do? You called him hot on your
No.
radio show?
So I go out to my car. Anyway, I'm telling my brother this. I'm telling him, and he's like, Jess, because my brother is more pale.
Okay.
We have different fathers.
Okay.
So we have different skin tone.
Sure.
He's like, do you know they like check everything, Jess? Like everything. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, no, like everything. And I'm
Right.
like, of course I have the hot dermatologist that went on Twitter and I had to go in there.
He's
And,
checking your vagina.
yes.
So
And I'm like, this is not happening.
so you're buck ass naked and he's checking your nipples and your hoo ha down there and he's hot and you're trying not to be attracted.
no,
That
I
sounds
didn't.
like a porn. Didn't I see a porn like that?
I
where you
wasn't
just go over to the
attracted
doctor?
to him. I'm just,
Oh.
he's not my sort. Like I don't, he's gorgeous. Like he's beautiful, but
Okay.
I'm just like, I don't know.
You don't-
He's
is he
young.
married?
He's young too.
Was he married?
No, but he went viral on Twitter.
Because he's just hot or because he did something wrong?
no, because he's hot.
Oh.
So some lady took
Oh.
a photo of him.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, so I Googled it in my car. I called all
And
my
of course
friends.
you showed up at the hot dermatologist just by happenstance.
No, they assigned I said, I need to come in. Something's wrong with my nose. I knew that this was not right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm thinking Nico had gone there. I'm thinking, oh, it's the nice old man. I always still think of doctors as all older.
Right.
I still do. I don't know. That image is in my head from a kid.
Okay.
And I have a,
This is not Little House on the Prairie anymore.
well,
This is
what was his name? Michael Lane. God, he was
Yeah.
hot. He was hot too.
Jeez.
Oh, I was boy crazy as a
Can't
kid.
find him, Scott. Can't find a hot
Yeah, there's so many
dermatologist.
horror stories of them and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, so yeah, I had to have when I went in, I'm just.
So
I
he looked at your nose, but then he looked at the rest of your body.
No, I came back in for that appointment, but when I showed up, I'm like, this is not the old guy.
So you went back in to have your rest of your body checked?
I did. I had another appointment. I was fine. So wear your sunscreen. Thank God. Thank God it was fine.
Okay, so when you had the thing on your nose looked at first, was it by the hot doctor?
Yeah.
And then you had to go back in and have the rest of your body checked? So you had
Yeah.
2 appointments?
Yeah.
So you knew that you were going back into the
Yeah.
hot doctor.
And
to
I
have
had
the whole
a
lot.
complete like armpit
So you
sweat.
knew that was coming
Yes, and I was terrified.
with the hot doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm like,
so the
"Kid."
second time when he checked your whole body, hoo-ha, nipples, everything,
Yeah.
you knew that was coming?
I knew it was coming.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was fine. He was a complete, I'll tell you this, complete professional.
He was only going to have one until the doctor saw it.
Yeah,
And he's like, oh,
yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
come back
You
and
should
do a whole
probably
body
come back
check."
in here and get the body checked.
I'm
And
pretty
she was
sure
like,
this guy.
Where's the appointment book?
This guy's pulling like 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy ain't worried about me.
Doesn't matter. He's a guy.
I'm about to say. Okay.
All right. So anyway, all right, back on topic, guys. Sorry, we went down like several rabbit
That's
holes
okay.
there. That's okay. I hope it helps somebody. I hope it gave people hope. And now they're all going to be asking me who the hot dermatologist is. Young ladies, I would. He's super hot and he's a doctor.
Okay.
Call me. Not him, the girls. So I'm going down this rabbit hole. I'm on TikTok. I'm doing all these searches. Okay. And all of a sudden, I start coming across all these videos about a body count debate.
Okay.
And Scott's going to play 2 videos, but hold on one second, Scott. I'm a very objective person. I'm a fair dealer. And when I saw the debate going on about body count, and if you don't know what body count means, it means how many people you have had sex with.
Okay.
And the debate is, does a girl's body count matter? And hey, I'll say this up front, we'll play 2 videos back to back. The first one will be one gentleman talking, not yet, Scott. Second one will be a group, which I really want you to listen in as loud as you can, Scott, on that one. And if you have a held belief and a boundary, okay, if you ask somebody, and we'll get into that, what is your body count? And they actually don't tell you to go F yourself and whatever. And that's your boundary. You're like, that number is not acceptable. You walk away, fine. But don't think yours doesn't matter. So go ahead, Scott, play the 2 back to back, and then let's get into this because it had me triggered.
Is it a red flag if a girl has a high body count?
No.
Can you expand on that?
I mean, I don't really care what happened before me. I guess I have a high body count, right? So if I don't want somebody to hold that against me, I won't hold it against them.
Yeah, so, okay, now listen to this. And this is more of them.
What would you consider is too high of a body count?
What they did before me is their business.
Okay.
Preach.
What about for women? What's too high of a body count for women?
Why are we marginalizing men and women?
Because there's a difference.
They're all
Men and women are different.
people.
Men and women are
It is
different.
not different.
Men and women are different. It's more difficult for a man to get a woman than it is for a woman to get a man.
Why do you
We're
think
biologically
easier?
different.
It's how you look at it, though.
Okay, let me ask you this, right? When a guy says that he prefers a woman with a low body count and prefers a woman to be pure, what do you say to that?
No, I say fuck you. Yeah.
Why?
Because why is there a contrast between the body count between men and women? Just because you have a high body count doesn't mean that I can.
So let me ask you this, right? Can a guy get pregnant?
No, okay, but when you said it's easier for a woman to be with a man, then why should men have higher body counts? That doesn't add up.
It does, because if a man has a higher body count, it shows that he's a high value man.
So then
because it's
easier
more
because so many girls and he doesn't give a shit. Why is that fair? It's
because
not.
it's different. Like
It's
I
not.
said.
It's not.
He's just trying to get laid.
No, hold on.
He's
hold
trying
on.
to bang all 4 of those girls.
In all fairness, no, he's not. Because this is, guys.
Jeff.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Okay. I don't care if he's trying to bang all 4 of those girls. This narrative.
Yeah.
This narrative over and over and over and over, different dudes, hot dudes, not so hot dudes, you name it. This went down the list, podcast, all the way to Andrew Tate telling us we should all put it on our head. And we all know he just got out on house arrest yesterday.
Okay.
But so this narrative that men can have sex with who they can, but women can have sex with who they want. Therefore, if somebody's is 10 and another person is 10, it's worse for the girl because she's making a choice. So my thing is, guys, and not all guys, because I talked to many guys this week about this who responded to my video.
I don't know. You had time to work. Sounds like all you did was talk about a radio program, but go ahead.
Oh, I work all the time.
I know.
ASD, I was having a mortgage crisis this morning, had to fix that all day.
Okay.
But, I'm sorry, you didn't put your wiener in that many vaginas, just as equally as she allowed that many in hers. Like, I don't understand that. I literally do not understand this narrative.
I've never asked anybody. I don't care.
So I'll tell you this.
I don't care.
I've never asked, nor do I.
All I know is it's my turn. I don't care. I don't know. I've just never cared. I've never asked anybody that. Nobody's ever asked me that. Nobody's ever asked me how many people.
I don't think any. So wait, I would never ask a guy this as a prerequisite to know if I was going to hang out with him. One, I don't care.
Sure.
B, it just doesn't dawn on me. Now, I have said to guys during relationships, like, so how many people did you really bang? But I was already in it. It wasn't a thing.
So why'd you ask? Because if it doesn't matter. Yeah, if it doesn't matter, why'd you ask?
It didn't necessarily matter. I think it was more like,
sounds like
now we're.
It does.
Yeah, now we're down.
If you ask, it matters.
It matters.
Fun to know.
Yeah.
I think at that point in our relationship, in my last relationship, I think it was more a fun question. He's like, and you? And I'm
like a fun question, like it turns you on to how many girls he was with?
No, but it doesn't. It wouldn't bother. The answer also doesn't bother me, nor did I actually expect him to answer. And it wasn't asked in this. So how many girls did you sleep with?
Over under 50.
Oh, I don't tell anything about me.
Oh, not you, ding dong. The question. What was the answer to the question?
Oh, I wouldn't do that to somebody.
Oh, all right.
No.
Well, ain't like
But
you
I've
rattled
been-
off his first and last name. I was just trying
I've
to
definitely-
Give this new sound effect.
Yeah.
I've definitely been with dudes in the past that, in my head, I'm like, I'm not asking, but sure, they probably had a high body count.
Okay.
And I feel
Did
this
you care?
No.
Okay.
As long as we're being
they've literally had a
safe.
shower since then, right? So they're fine, right?
I had a lot of guys who I feel like guys as they got older that they definitely, one of the phrases was before you came along, BYCA. I like that. Before you came along, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So why'd you ask?
No, these were questions I put out on
I know.
socials.
I know,
They were
but just-
responding to them.
Okay.
Remember the video? Did you see the video I
did.
put out this week?
I did.
So I got a message, BYCA, before you came along. And that was Ayoshi. I like that statement. They were like, it doesn't matter. I feel like there were guys that definitely agreed with that video right there, that men are high value, that we only sleep with who we can, and women get to sleep with who they want, which makes us better, and you basically a hoe if,
As I got older, I was able to not necessarily be so. I don't know what the word is. Easy. I don't think the word's easy. I am able to. When I was younger, if somebody wanted me, like you said, like girls sleep with who they want, even though somebody might have wanted to sleep with me, I was able to turn that off and be like, nah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
As I got older. But when I was a kid, like when you're coming out of high school, you're like, you want to sleep with me? Let's go, right? You're like, where are we at? Like, let's go. Car? You want to go to the car? All right, cool.
I think sex
Your house, mom and dad's home. I don't care, right? I don't care. I'll jump out the window. But now I'm able to turn that off.
I think I think you can't hold people accountable. People grow and change so much through the years. So I feel like you can't hold people accountable. The decisions we make, whether it's about sex or a lot of things in our 20s, are not the decisions we're making in our 30s or our 40s. And I'm not to 50s yet, but I can imagine that, women always say, oh my God, wait till you get to your 50s, Jess. Life just gets better and better. And so I feel the same way about sex. I feel like, each sexual experience you have, no matter how many it is different mentally, physically, and emotionally, and how you connect and how you choose to connect.
Okay.
No.
I agree with that. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just telling you that
Telling me what?
that dudes, when they're younger, don't have any control. None. If some girl is ready to rail, he's ready to rail. Right? As they get older, things get different. Now, I will tell you that it's different that when you get married, dudes have a problem. Right?
With what?
Because they have the same piece of ass all the time. Right? And then some girl comes along after they've only had one caboose for about 10 years, and some girl comes along that just throws it at him. He has a problem.
What do you mean he has a problem?
He can't stop.
So he's going to cheat on his wife?
Most of the time.
Really?
I would say 99% of the time.
I don't agree with that. Why do you?
So.
Yeah, I think that's a little dramatic.
I think that's dramatic.
Okay.
Are we saying
Opportunity.
saying full throttle cheat?
Yeah. Yeah. If some girl at work or something and he's been married for 10 years and he's had the same piece
Just
of caboose.
10?
No. It could be any time. If he's only been with one girl for so long, I think that guys are opportunity like that.
Why do you think this? 99%. You said 99% of guys. So
That's
why
you got to stay single?
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you that this is what happens because guys get hemmed up in this little spot where they're like, oh, I just want to be with you forever, and that's it. Now, this is where this day and age things have changed a lot because there are more open marriages than I've ever heard about. Like I've never even heard about an open marriage before. Like where somebody's like, "Oh, that's cool. I took my wife and I let her get railed by some other guy and I watched." Right? So that's changed, right? Because that did not happen in the early 80s or the 90s. Nowadays,
yeah, it did.
Okay, well, I wasn't in that circle. Now it's out there maybe because more social media and you get to hear about it more. And listen to you two. Yeah, it did.
Well,
I was first in line.
I was 5. Okay, I was not first in line.
I'm like, jeez. But I'm just telling you that is the difference, I think, with dudes. They're opportunistic.
I disagree. I know most guys I know in relationships are loyal. I see them out because I'm out, and I don't think that's the case.
Did you just say most guys are loyal?
I think when they're committed, they're pretty loyal. I don't think 99% of guys, when a girl comes along.
Kevin's shot high, but I think you're low.
Okay.
Guys are dirtbags for the most part.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Opportunity.
Okay. Do you see this happening?
Opportunity. No, you just hear about
it
all
the time.
Yeah,
you see it all the time.
That do it all the time.
I'm not talking about. Are we talking about swinging, or are we talking about
No.
Cheat?
Just regular ass cheating.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know that I don't mind certain things. It's not that big of a deal. But as long as people are honest, I don't care. But
yeah,
I wouldn't be dishonest with my significant other. But
yeah,
there's not too many people out there. They try and hide it and be shady and go around the backs. I don't know. And that's most guys that I know of and have seen.
Really? Really?
I can't believe that you think this way. I am shocked that you don't think that if you pushed up on a married guy, the way you look.
But I wouldn't.
I know.
My close friends from high school are about the only ones that I know that I would probably trust.
Right.
To be good to their significant others. Other than that, people that I've met since high school.
And do you think? Hold on. Do you think it's marriage though? Is it people that are married, or do you think it's people in long-term relationships? Period, or just?
Yeah, long-term relationship.
My friends from high school.
I also think alcohol has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. It's also the type of people. Like
alcohol's the devil.
I don't drink anymore unless I'm on vacation or.
They're not going out all the time. Whereas, being in the bar business my whole life.
Well, I've seen a lot.
And that's the type of people that I see.
I think working at Hooters, I will say that I didn't realize it for a really long time. And it has nothing to do. Hooters is a great place to work. So I want to say that. Like, I worked there for so long.
How many married men hit on you from Hooters?
A lot. And,
okay.
And
99% of them.
No, not 99%.
Yeah.
I mean, where I would consider being hit on. Look, I don't think they're not going to go in and give me a compliment or something like that. But most guys, obviously, they're decent guys. They're decent. They're just like, oh, you're so pretty or something like that, right?
I know guys who won't cheat, but they flirt just because they want to still feel like a man, but they're not.
Fair enough.
They're not going to, even if they were given the opportunity, they wouldn't carry it further.
But there were guys that would hit on you, and then like a month later, they would come in, and next thing you know, they're walking to his lady, and it's his wife. Now, granted, guys, if you're out at Hooters, like guys would be like, she really likes me. Probably not. The Hooters girl does not like you.
That's the same as the strip club, right?
And Hooters girls, we're just working, going home.
The episode of South Park with raisins.
Yeah. I remember that. But they come in and it messed me. I mean, I was young. I was like 22, 23. I was young, so I was like, wait. I was more naive to that. And I was like, you were here hitting on me or her or whoever it was. And it kind of was shocking to my soul. And I think I was naive in a lot of ways about that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I still think there is sanctity with people, and that people love each other and they want to be loyal.
There are those people out there. There are those people out there. I'm telling you, nothing ruins a relationship more than a hot girl at work.
And
okay.
I've never seen I'm trying to go back. I've never seen an office affair.
What?
Have you seen it? I never have. I don't think so.
You've
No.
So was Hooters your office?
Yeah, but I've worked in business, guys. You know that, in sales and IT and mortgage. And
you've never seen an affair?
Mostly women, though.
No, I didn't. All men. So mortgage was a man's world. And T taught me everything I know about it, and she can tell you that too. It's only been.
But in your office, how many married guys?
I don't go into an office. I work remote. All right. I have. But when I did work in the tech world, I'd be in an office all the time, and I didn't see that. And if they were covering up, they were doing a really good job.
That's why it's called an affair. It's not out there. That's why it's down low.
That's why it's not an open relationship.
Yeah, that's why it's not open.
Betrayal's dirty.
It is dirty.
Don't betray people.
I'm not trying to say it's good. I'm just telling you that this is happening. I'm telling you this is a definite thing, and I'm not saying it's right. And some dudes just won't do that. I'm telling you, I'm able to turn that off. I can turn that off. Somebody coming up on me and pushing up on me now. If I'm loyal, I'm loyal.
100%.
I can turn that off. I can turn that off.
Oh,
when I was 20, I couldn't turn it off.
Yeah. Well, I always tell my girlfriends too, I'm like, do not get serious with a man, and this is younger girlfriends, until they are 29, approaching that 30 years old. I even think it's pushed back now.
It's pushed back.
Fair enough, but I feel like
it's pushed back.
It's pushed back to probably like 45.
Yeah,
you're closer.
Yeah. No, I actually agree with that with social media and everything like that. But I do tell them, because I said men change drastically. Somebody told me this once, paid attention. Men change drastically when they turn 29 going at 30. They kind of have a, I need to get serious about life, leaving my 20s thing.
Okay.
And maybe tighten up a little bit. But I do agree with Jeff. It's definitely.
It's pushed back.
It's pushed back a little bit. But I will say a lot of guys told me, oh, I wanted to go back to your point. Someone sent me a really funny thing today, and it was a guy asking a girl, and she was a very beautiful woman with big boobs. She was cute. He said, would you rather have a guy with 0 or a guy with 1,000? And I was like, and she answered, I'd rather have somebody who had a body count of 1,000, right?
Oh, okay.
And I get it.
He's going to be good.
Hold on.
He's practiced.
My answer, but I kind of thought about this, and my answer would be, I wouldn't ask because I wouldn't know the one with 1,000, but I also wouldn't want 0 because that's a lot of responsibility.
Are you sure you don't miss someone with 1,000?
I don't, but I wouldn't ask. I don't want to know.
Oh.
But I don't want the guy that's 0.
But she did ask.
I didn't ask.
Oh, okay.
No, this was a video online.
I know, but your last relationship, you asked.
But not like that. It was more. I can't. I shouldn't even have said it because it was more like a funny conversation on a Thursday. Like, how many people did you bang? It wouldn't have mattered to me.
Okay.
It really was more of a funny thing and not like me setting him up for failure.
That's like one.
Yeah.
Hey, what'd you have for dinner?
Yeah.
And who did you bang?
Yeah, right.
And it's not a funny.
But
thing
I'm
to
not
ask
asking that on a dating and going, oh, on first date. So how was your day? Where do you work? And how many people have you banged?
Yeah. Oh, I got you.
And I think we got to change this narrative, guys, between
But if
men.
he joked with you and said 1,000, if you'd have asked me that and said, well, how many people did you bang? I said, I'm close to 1,000.
I would have had to gulp a little. I would have been shocked.
Yeah.
There was no backing out of it then.
Yeah.
So.
But you said.
But
you
I
were
wouldn't want to
joking.
know up front.
But you said you were joking, so I was joking.
I was, but I would if he had answered me and said 1,000, I probably would have been like, well, damn.
What would you? But
I wouldn't have been like, oh my God. Well, I'm like, you're with me, so I'm probably the best sex you ever had.
1,001.
1,001 is a charm.
You're it.
Nothing wrong with that. Anyway. There was so much more on this. I know we're into our hour, and I wish we could get to it. But I want to close out. We'll get more of this next week because I have so much more content for this subject. But I do want to play one thing to end on a positive note, but a pumped up positive note.
Cool.
And this, hold on, let me set this up real quick. This is Matt Borg out of Australia. He actually owns a active line called Duco Active. I met him on TikTok, him and his girlfriend. They run the company. He's a fitness coach. I love their stuff. I buy their stuff. I wear it. But he also has Monster, fueled by Monster, every morning and pumps people up with these videos over and over again. And I thought it was a good thing to leave with.
Okay.
You don't realize how much you've neglected yourself until you make yourself a priority again. It's time to focus on you and do what's right for you. Now get the fuck up, baby. You know where we're going.
There's that Monster. He has the best playlist on SoundCloud. If you're into this music genre, it's MATTBORG. Find him on SoundCloud. Best playlist. But yeah, I thought that was a good good thing to end with. A little pumpy.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw you put that up earlier.
Yeah, versus Kevin Hart. I know that was a little slow, but a good message. A good message.
No, the sun definitely comes up every day.
I'm gonna beat you, Kevin. But I hope everybody goes out there and prioritizes himself.
Yes.
And I hope you come back and see me next week. And wherever you're going through, remember the sun will shine again. I hope you all have a great week. Can't wait to talk to you again. Take care. Later.